Hello and welcome to beautiful Mesa, Arizona. We're here at the Mesa Tennis Club, and this weekend, this is not a tennis club, this is a pickleball tournament. We're here at the inaugural 2020 PPA, Professional Pickleball Association Tournament. This is the first stop in a set of 7 tournaments throughout 2020, where pro players from around North America will be coming to compete for more than $500,000 in prize money. I'm your host, Mark Renison, and I'm going to be bringing you the live commentary all weekend long, and I'm really glad that you're with us. We're going to be shooting live today, tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday. It's going to be great. We're here along with Pro Pickleball, and you can see right now we've got some players warming up here. Only half of the 4 women out here are going to be playing on this court. In a few moments, we're going to have Callie Smith playing with Irena Tereshchenko. You'll see them behind me. And they're going to be taking on Parenteau and her partner Andrea Koop, who just finished warming up here. There's great matches all over the place. We're going to be showing them all day long, so be sure to stay tuned. We're going to take a quick break right now. I'm going to get behind the booth, and let's get ready to watch some amazing women's pro doubles coming up now at the PPA event here in Mesa, Arizona.
Attention everybody, we've got a high-level match coming on championship court. We've got 4 ladies that are 4 of the top players in the world. We'd love for everybody to come watch and take part of this match. Everybody make your way over to championship court. Thank you.
You are looking right now at the 4 women who are about to compete in this first round match here at the Mesa, Arizona PPA event. Of course, some pickleball players tend to warm up with their partners. So you see Callie Smith in the long sleeve black shirt, the white shoes with the gold sparkles. I bet we're going to get a look at that later on. And she's warming up with Irena Tereshchenko. Long sleeve blue shirt, white hat. Wearing the long pants. That's sort of a distinctive look for Tereschenko. first to 11 winning by 2. One of the things that's really great about working with the crew at Pro Pickleball is the different camera angles that they're going to show you. You're going to be able to see nice wide angles, you're going to see great tight angles, you're going to see it at the kitchen cam. Really top quality video streaming. If you are watching us right now, be sure to hit the like button, that way you can let your friends know you're watching, and even better, hit the share button. And that way you can let your friends, fellow pickleball players, maybe even your rivals know what's going on here in Mesa. It's a beautiful day. It's just after 11 o'clock local time. It's still a little bit cool. See players warming up here, getting ready to go, making sure that they're firing all cylinders. You'll notice here, this is something that rec players at home, or even competitive players at home, might take into account, is notice the way the players are warming up. Right now we see Tereschenko and Smith. They're actually playing real points, competitive points here on the down the line. They want to make sure that sort of mentally they're ready to not just hit the ball back and forth. People on the other side of the net, but actually hit it in a way that challenges them. So you'll see people play real points. You see Parenteau coming into the net. And now she and Koop are playing sort of modified points. They're not going to go full out just yet, but the idea really is to get the feel that they want to have for the ball. Of course, earlier in the day, the feel of the ball is a little bit different than it is as things progress. The official ball of this tournament is the Durafast 40. And that ball plays a little bit harder early on as it's a bit cooler out. And that means that the ball is going to fly a little bit more than it does later. So I expect that we're going to see, you tend to see a few more errors early on, balls flying long. And right now you see the players having their final chats with coaches and supporters. They're going to get some instructions from the referee. Good crowd on hand already here early on this first Thursday of the tournament. The stadium seating was brought in yesterday. One thing to note is that that first row of the benches, the stadium seating, isn't too far away from the side of the court. And while most players that won't be an issue, these players are so good at hitting angles and so good at chasing them down for possible around the post shots, ATPs as they're known, is that something that we are going to have to pay attention to. You'll see that there's no one sitting in that first row. That's to make sure that the players can have maximum space. You may hear that voice right now, the PA system going right now around the grounds here, telling people about this tournament, or this match that we're watching. That's Melissa McCurley from pickleballtournaments.com. Melissa McCurley, of course, the best in the business when it comes to putting on tournaments, to running them, making sure things are going smoothly and on time. She and her team do an unbelievable job of helping tournament directors provide the best possible experience for players, for coaches, and fans too. A couple of interesting things we should tell you about here for this particular tournament. Every time that a game is at a total of 11 points, so for example, if the score was 7-4 or 6-5 or 9-2, we're going to go to a quick timeout. That way we can give some love to the various sponsors of the tournament. Also gives the players a moment to regroup. You may occasionally hear or even see airplanes going by. We're very close to a couple airports here, municipal airports, as well as another airport here that craft, I'm told. So lots to see and lots to hear and lots to take part in. If you are thinking about coming down to attend this event, it's totally free to get in. We'd love to have you. Of course, we're going to be streaming primarily the best of the best, the pro matches out here. But there's also an amateur division, and you'll see the skill and age groups out here having a great time here at the PPA event. You're going to see, looks like Tereschenko and Smith will be serving first. There's no sort of set rule for who serves first or not when you win the toss. Some players like to get the ball in the paddle early on. There we go. First serve, the PPA event Women's Pro. Irena Tereshchenko serving to Andre Koop.
Versus Wendy Steiner and Nicolette Cox. Goldfrey and Hackman, Steiner and Cox report to the tournament desk, please.
It's always interesting to see at the beginning of a match what kind of patterns the teams might start to use.
0-0-1.
Here, Koop talking to Parenteau and Smith about the ball, and there we go. Like I said early on, that ball is a little bit cold. It doesn't bounce quite as high. It's a harder ball.
1-0-1.
And it's a little bit cold. Parenteau with a good third shot drop poach to take that ball when it was a little bit high, let her attack. I was talking a moment ago about the patterns that we might see. So far we've seen Koop and Smith going after each other. And there we see a little bit of an exchange between Tereschenko and Parenteau.
2-0-2.
Scores 2-0-2. Very low bounce off that turn of serve. A good low slice, something I'm seeing a lot more of. I think we're going to talk about over the course of this tournament is the way the players are using shorter returns actually strategically. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. In the meantime, we see that pattern again there between Koop and Smith. Catherine Parenteau telling her partner that's the pattern we like. You saw Callie Smith try to tee it up there, try to counterattack.
0-2-2.
0-2-2 is the score. Smith to Parenteau. Saw that forehand from Parenteau catch just the outside of the line. Irena Tereshchenko would have loved to have called that ball out, but she's such a good sport out here. If there's any doubt at all, she's going to call it in. This is something that we will continue to see both in the women's doubles, the men's doubles, and the mixed doubles, as the pros are so good at getting those balls off the top of the net. They expect that it's going to dribble over. As Koop nets that forehand volley.
0-2-1.
The score is 0-2-1. Tereschenko Smith looking to get on the board. This is what we call a reset, folks. Look at that. So in that case, good defense. A reset, if those are not familiar with the term, is when your team is on defense, when you're backing up. Usually, opponents are hitting hard. And, of course, we see the pop-up right there off the backhand of Koop that Tereschenko puts away. And a reset is when you're in that defensive position, especially from back in the court, and you're able to get that ball down low to your opponents, usually as a drop that they can't attack, and so it neutralizes them, which of course is the reason that we hit drops and digs. It's a way to not win the point necessarily, but to keep your team out of trouble. A lot of trouble caused by that high forehand volley. Callie Smith makes no mistake. Bit of a run here. Tereschenko and Smith now have the lead. 3-2-2. They were down 0-2 for a while. And with that, ball in the net, it's a side out. Andrea Koop will take over serving duties.
2-3-1.
2-3-1. Continue to see Smith and Koop go at one another. Finally, Tereschenko gets an opportunity on her forehand. A little overzealous there, puts the ball in the net, and we're locked. 3-3. Smith trying to make sure
3-3-1.
she's clear whether they're going to stack or play straight up. It's a great third shot drop. A lot of topspin on that drop off of the forehand of Koop.
4-3-1.
4-3-1. It's an interesting attempt there by Parenteau. She saw that Tereschenko was on the left side of the court, moving over to the right. Thought there might be an opening. Irena's so fast. Not fast enough to catch up with that body shot. Forehand volley of Parenteau.
5-3-2.
5-3-2 is the score here.
Three, 5-1.
3-5-1. Callie Smith serving. Good backhand slice return from Parenteau. What an exchange at the net. The crowd's going to like that one. A lot of reflex volleys back and forth. This is something that we're seeing. This is not the pickleball of old where it was all about slow dinks all the time. Of course, dinks have their place for sure. We're going to see a couple here, I bet. There we go. But what players are looking to do is they're looking to speed things up if they believe they can cause trouble. And so they'll play these slow, low dinks as long as they're in a neutralized position. And I think that their chances for going hard successfully are limited. And Callie Smith got that ball high enough on her forehand that she was able to drive it down low at Parenteau. 4-5-2. A nice drive poach combination there. Callie Smith plays that forehand drive, and anticipating the ball over the middle was Tereschenko. She got what she wanted. 5-5-2. Smith and Tereschenko, sometimes we've seen them stack so far, but we've also seen them play straight up and then switch. There we go. That's a difficult backhand drive from Koop. The difference, of course, between stacking and switching is when you difference between switching and stacking is when you're stacking, you'll put both players on the same side of the court initially, and then they'll spread out as the point unfolds. And when you're switching, you'll typically start in a normal position, straight up as we call it, sort of just trying to deceive your opponents into thinking you're going to play one way, and then as the point goes to switch to cross. Eight 5-1. Parenteau and Koop looking to extend their lead here. They'd love to win game number one. Put the pressure on Tereschenko and Smith. That ball is just long. I think we're going to see a timeout here. 9-5-1. The timeout. We're going to go to a quick timeout. We'll be back in a minute after this word from our sponsors.
Pickleball is very, very different. 8 to 10 matches in one day, and each match could be 45 minutes. Being able to start and go and stop is very, very challenging. When I'm taking Jigsaw Health supplements, I have the confidence to stay out there all day, and I can stay focused, energized, and cramp-free. I wouldn't recommend Jigsaw Health to any of my opponents. You guys continue drinking whatever you're drinking right now.
And we're back live, Mesa, Arizona, here at the PPA inaugural event. The Pro Pickleball Association, you are looking at a first round pro women's match. Catherine Parenteau about to serve along with her partner Andrea Koop, taking on Tereschenko. Irena Tereshchenko, Callie Smith. 9-5-1 is the score. This is a race to 11, win by 2. This is game number 1 of this match. It's a good backhand volley from Smith. There we go, 10-5-1. That's going to set up our first game point. Expect Parenteau to be pretty aggressive. That's a good deep serve. And there it is. There she is, aggressive with a high forehand volley. A nice drive poach combination. Andrea Koop with a solid double-handed backhand. Parenteau there to pick up the garbage over the middle. And we're going to roll into a quick commercial. We'll be back in a second for game number 2 here, the PPA event, live in Mesa, Arizona. Welcome back, PPA, Mesa, Arizona. I'm your host, Mark Renison, and if you're just joining us, you're about to see the beginning of game number 2 here in this first round match between Andrea Koop, Catherine Parenteau. They're going to be serving, and they're taking on Irena Tereshchenko and Callie Smith. Parenteau and Koop took game number 1, 11-5. And with that forehand error into the net, Tereschenko will take over serving duties. What we saw in game number 1 primarily was the strategy of going at Callie Smith, as you're seeing right here. Tereschenko, for the most part, frozen out of the game as soon as things got up near the net. She's going to see if she can get herself a little more involved here. I expect in this game that we see Tereschenko start to cover a little bit more over the middle. She's got that solid two-handed backhand that she loves to hit. And here's that familiar pattern again. Smith and Koop going at one another. There we go. That's a difficult... That's about the 4th forehand swinging volley we've seen off the forehand side of Parenteau. Okay, you see Smith and Tereschenko stacking. Expect to see a down-the-line drive here to the open court. And perhaps anticipating that she was going to have to run so much. Smith misses that return in the net. 1-1-1. Koop so solid off that two-handed backhand. It's one of the reasons we're seeing so many players on both the women's and men's side now starting to use those two hands when they get into those quick exchanges. Koop jams Tereschenko on the forehand side. A good place to go for when you're hitting hard is that forehand hip. Irena does a little court maintenance out here. 3-1-1. Koop and Parenteau off to a good start here in game number 2. And when things are rolling, things are rolling. A little bit of luck off the top of the net. You saw Parenteau put up her hand a couple times, apologize. She's happy to win the point, but would rather win it on a clean winner. Scores 4-1-1. Catherine Parenteau goes for the inside-out forehand drop, a little bit wide. And this time we're going to see Callie Smith stay in her position. Tough serve. Something else that we can look forward to over the course of the weekend is the prevalence of the challenging serve. Not necessarily to win the point outright, as we saw a moment ago against Tereschenko, but even just to cause trouble, make it hard to hit the return. So this hydration break is brought to you by Jigsaw Health. Jigsaw Health, it's fun to feel good. Six 6-1-2, Catherine Parenteau serving to Irena Tereshchenko. Tereschenko and Smith need to step something up here a little bit. Looks like there was a kitchen violation there. A non-volley zone infraction by Callie Smith, the right foot. It's going to lead to 7-1-2. Now, I said a minute ago how we can expect to see players going for a little bit more on the serve, trying to cause some trouble for the opponents. What that will mean, however, sometimes is that you play that ball a little too closely and hit the ball in the net. And there we go, a free point. This may be contrary to what some of you have heard in your pickleball experience about how you should never miss your serve. Players don't love to miss their serve, but sometimes that's the price you got to pay if you're trying to do something offensive. Wow. What a forehand from Irena Tereshchenko. So well disguised. This is a real signature of hers, the ability to hit with topspin, but also to hit the outside part of the ball with that forehand. The right side of the ball gave it not just the spin it needed to get up and down, but also the angle to get away from the players. And I'm quite confident that Parenteau did not see that ball coming. Really well done from Tereschenko. Just going to see a little bit more of that here if she and Smith are going to stay close in the second game. Parenteau misses with a little bit of a slippery shot of her own, a little bit wide. Scores 4-7-1. There's that reset we were talking about earlier, the ability to get out of trouble by playing a drop. It's great pickleball out here from these four women. Trading blows back and forth, could have gone either way. This is going to be a quick timeout.
It's no secret, I lose so many electrolytes when I play. Eventually, I either start cramping or I run out of gas.
Electrolyte Supreme gives me enough energy and hydration.
They prevent cramps, and what's really important to me, they help me to recover quicker.
I know I can push myself a little bit more and not have to worry about cramps.
I feel better, I feel good, and it's fun to feel good.
We're feeling great, we're energized, and we're ready to have a great day, right, Lucy?
And it's fun to feel good.
Welcome back to this first round women's pro doubles match here at the PPA Mesa, Arizona event. This is the inaugural event in the 2020 season. First of 7 tour stops. 5-7-1 is the score. Callie Smith serving along with Irena Tereshchenko. Tereschenko puts that ball into the net. She knows that's a makeable ball. She's got to do better. 5-7-2. A few errors now that we've seen here recently from Parenteau. might be thinking that Smith and Tereschenko might go at her for a little bit to see if they can keep that streak alive. It's an interesting example of Parenteau right now being a little more conservative than she was earlier. Tereschenko not being conservative there at all. She likes that one. Sometimes that can be the turning point. One good aggressive move that gets rewarded. We're at 7-7-2. Let's see if Tereschenko continues that aggressive play here. That backhand drive from Smith set up a little too high and not quite fast enough. Parenteau is so good at counterattacking. 7-7-1. Parenteau, such a good defender there. Coming 3/4 of the way to the splits on that backhand defensive shot. 8-7-1. Smith and Tereschenko continue to go at Koop. There we go, Callie Smith counterattacks. Bit of a miss-hit. And the size of that swing suggested to Parenteau the ball was going to go out, but the fact that it was a bit of a miss-hit took some speed off of it. That ball falls in. 8-7-2. If you're just joining us, we're in game number 2 of this best-of-3 match. Parenteau and Koop won game number 1, and they're 2 points away from winning game number 2 and this match here. 9-7-2. There we go. Tereschenko sees that one coming a mile away. Ball's a little too low for Koop to attack at that speed, even with the topspin that she is so good at applying. 7-9-1. Let's see if Tereschenko can hit that surprise forehand again. Just gotta wait for the right time to do it. Right now, Smith has got to be happy that she outlasted Koop there. Hasn't always gone her way in this match so far when they have had those slow ball rallies. There's the drive poach combination, and that ball also goes long. 9-9-1 is the score here. And with that error, a missed return of serve again. The strength of the serve, a hard serve that gives your opponents less time to set up. Players are going to take a quick hydration break, and this hydration break is powered by Jigsaw Health. It's fun to feel good. And we were just saying before that how important the serve can be, both to cause trouble, but even to make your opponents miss outright. And when you're serving at 9-9, the returners are going to feel a little bit of pressure, especially when the serving team has been on a roll. We saw that backhand return of Parenteau land a little bit long. We're going to see how aggressive they are with this as Callie Smith serves to Andrea Koop. 10-9-1. This is game point. Smith, Tereschenko. And there it is. There it is, game number 2. That was probably the rally of the match so far. Great patience exhibited by all 4 of these women, as well as the ability to defend when under attack. So this match is locked at 1 game apiece. We're going to go to a quick break. We'll be back in a moment with more. Game number 3 live from Mesa. And we are back. You are looking at Championship Court here at the Mesa Tennis Center. Here at the inaugural Pro Pickleball Association first stop on their tour of 7 here in Mesa, Arizona. This is a women's pro doubles first round matchup. Andrea Koop, Catherine Parenteau looked like they had a stranglehold on this match. They were up a game and 6-2, I believe, in the second game. Callie Smith and Irena Tereshchenko, great job of coming back, of defending, of Irena Tereshchenko playing really good offensive pickleball at just the right time. They managed to win game number 2, and this is the start of game number 3 here. 0-0-2, Tereschenko serving to Koop. The ball goes right through the middle there into the broadcast booth. Gotta think here, that's not a great start for Parenteau and Koop to lose against a slow ball through the center of the court. That miscommunication, not something you can afford against a team of the caliber of Smith and Tereschenko. 0-1-1 is the score. Looks like there was a mistake on the receiving end right there. Tereschenko is not supposed to have received that serve. 1-1-1. Gotta wonder whether that's a mistake that's going to haunt Tereschenko and Smith. It's a mistake that sometimes will occur when players are doing a lot of switching and stacking. 2-1-2 is the score. Look for Tereschenko to use that forehand. There it is. She's going to step out to her left, sometimes even putting herself outside of that sideline. If she believes by putting herself there, she's going to be able to use that forehand effectively. You're going to see her take that little bit of risk. We've already seen a few forehands off the Tereschenko paddle that really caused trouble for Koop and Parenteau. Speaking of causing trouble, Smith wanted that ball, lands just a little bit long. There's a bit of wind. She checks with the ref. Oh, it looks like that ball is being overruled. That ball is going to be overruled. 2-2-1. So a little bit of drama here in game number 3. We've had a bit of everything. We've had a miscommunication from Parenteau and Koop. Watch out. There we go. No miscommunication there. That ball was trickier than it looks, folks. That ball was up high. Right there, Callie Smith looking into the sun and the wind pushing the ball back toward the net. So even though it looked like an easy ball high on the forehand side, looks can be deceiving. That ball called out. That ball called out. A bit of a dispute. Tereschenko asking if they want to replay the point. 3-2-2 is the score. He's getting a little bit heated here on Championship Court in this first round match. Look at that. Tereschenko looking to poach again. They've had success when she's been aggressive. And here's the pattern we saw earlier. Koop and Smith. Callie Smith so good at that counterattack. Wow. There's not a lot I can say after a point like that. This is what modern pickleball looks like. When you watch the best players, it is about taking it at one another, and they are so good at not just defending against those attacks, but counterattacking themselves. What a treat to watch. All right, with that, Parenteau and Koop, they get the ball back. Hoping that's a bit of a momentum shift for them. They didn't like the way things were going. Scores 2-4-1. Look at that attack. Ball is just wide. Scores 2-4-2 here. We've got Catherine Parenteau serving to Callie Smith. This is game number 3 here. The winner of this match will go into the second round of the main draw. There's that counterattack pattern we see again. Once again, your friendly neighborhood broadcaster doing a little ball boy duty here at the back of the court. 3-4-2. Here's that pattern. So we've seen a number of times today. Sometimes that's been a down-the-line pattern when Koop and Smith were heads up against each other. Sometimes it was on the cross court. 4-3-1, Irena Tereshchenko serving. Game number 3. One of the things you may have noticed is how often the return of serve is being hit to Tereschenko. Let's see if Koop does it here. And Callie Smith comes right up to the net. She puts all her eggs in the basket, assuming that Tereschenko is going to play the shot that she should, especially if it's a drop. More often than not, she is correct. There we go. Parenteau trying to fire up her team there. Good battle at the net. You see those swinging forehand and backhand volleys. And, I was saying a second ago that we saw Smith come right up to the net even though Tereschenko hasn't even hit the ball yet. That's something you can do and get away with if your partner is good at playing great third shots, that they're consistent at it. For many of you at home, if you look across your partner and they aren't one of those pros, you might want to think about staying back a little bit, waiting to see what happens, what kind of ball gets hit. Okay, there's going to be a 1-minute timeout here as these players change ends. We're going to be back in a second. Stay close.
Not today. Break's over. You dropped something.
That's a wicked backhand.
You were looking at championship court here in Mesa, Arizona at the Mesa Tennis Center. This is a first round pro women's doubles match between Callie Smith and Irena Tereshchenko and Catherine Parenteau and her partner Andrea Koop. Koop and Parenteau won game number 1. Tereschenko and Smith won game number 2, and they're now serving at 6-3-2 here in this third and decisive game. Make that 7-3-2. This time Parenteau hitting the return of serve to Smith. That's dangerous because it does does allow Tereschenko to come to the net. Okay, there's going to be a quick referee timeout here. Jigsaw Health. We'll be back in a second.
People have this conception that pickleball, oh, that's an old person sport, but I don't think they realize how physically demanding it is with those quick bursts and long, grueling points. The first US Open, I found myself cramping in 2 different events. When you start cramping, it's too late. And when I first started playing, I wasn't ready for that. The biggest difference I feel on the court with Jigsaw products is I'm not cramping at all. It gives you that mental confidence that your body's going to hold up. Jigsaw products will provide a lot of value to you both on and off the court.
We're back live. Mesa, Arizona PPA inaugural event. The score is 7-2-2. Callie Smith, Irena Tereshchenko going on a little bit of a run here in this third decisive game. Just before the break, we were talking about how sometimes you might return the serve to the player you're trying to avoid. Most balls have been going to Smith, except the return of serve often goes to Tereschenko, keeping her away from the net. And you'll see here how she comes in, and look, you can see why they want to keep her away from the net after poaches like that. Smart strategy from Tereschenko and Smith. 9-3-2. With that, we get the side out. And there we go. We see once again the Tereschenko forehand, high forehand volley. Be sure to stay around after this match is over. We're going to do an interview with the winners. On-court interview with the winners. In the meantime, we're going to continue to watch this great play. With that ball off the top of the net, off the Tereschenko backhand, that's going to be a point. 4-9-2, Andrea Koop serving. Ball is just a little bit wide. You could see Catherine Parenteau looking to attempt an Ernie there if that ball did come back over. We'll talk later today about how players might decide when to go for an Ernie or not. In the meantime, that is going to be a non-volley zone violation by Andrea Koop. That is going to set up game point, 10-4-1. And with that backhand in the net from Parenteau, that is going to be game and match to Tereschenko Smith. They win in 3 games. Stay tuned. We're going to do a quick interview with them, and we've got more matches coming up. We'll take a quick break. Then I'll be back with the interview. Stay close.
I got your new paddle.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Could you sign it?
Yeah, I signed all those.
That's not your signature.
That is indeed my signature.
But I did not see you sign it myself, personally.
Okay.
Maybe just a...
All right, Mark Renison here. You just watched a great match while the players get their congratulations from friends and supporters. We're going to have a quick interview in a second with Callie Smith and Irena Tereshchenko. You're going to want to stay close because we've got live streaming happening all day long right now. We're showing women's pro matches today here on Championship Court. It's now heating up here in Mesa. It's a beautiful venue, beautiful courts. You can see Irena and Callie signing some balls. Right now you see Lee and Annalie Waters behind me. We're going to be seeing them throughout the course of this weekend, I bet. And be sure to follow us. So if you're watching here on Pro Pickleball, be sure to share it so your friends know that we're watching, know that you're watching, and they can see it too. You can see Irena hitting a couple balls into the crowd right now. Everyone likes that. That's not the safest thing I've ever seen. Okay. And you be sure to follow everything. What else can we tell you about? So PPA, of course, you can find them on Instagram, Pro Pickleball Association, also propickleballassociation.com. We are joined now by Irena Tereshchenko. I was worried that we almost lost that ball for a second.
I would have signed another one.
So Irena, won't keep you for long. I just want to know, so that was a real momentum shift. You two were down, you lost game number 1, and game number 2, you really sort of came back. Was there something that triggered it, something that you two did differently to kind of shift things in your direction?
Well, oftentimes you kind of go into a black hole and you just hope it ends sooner than later. And this black hole was a little longer than I would like to, but I stayed positive and just kept staying with the strategy. Maybe the only thing we switched, we kind of decided that I'll probably play on the ad side for the rest of the match. We both got a good feel for where we want to be, and that was maybe the only adjustment.
It seemed as the game went on a little bit more, you start to be a little more aggressive, right? Early on, they were mainly hitting to Callie, and using that drive poach combination seemed to be effective, especially when they hit that return of serve to her. They hit more of the returns of serve to you initially to sort of keep you back off the net.